Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of Publishers Without Borders Live. I'm delighted to be joined today by Jose Manuel Anta, who is the General Manager of the Federación de Gremios de Editores de España. Buenas tardes, Jose Manuel, bienvenido, and welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on here today.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Emma. The pleasure is mine. I thank you very much for the opportunity to share ideas and information with all the Publishers Without Borders community.
Yeah, it's great. We've never had a session before about the Liber book fair. So I think our audience are going to be very keen to hear more. We'll take questions. I think Prashant, thank you for being in the background. He'll put the questions on for us if we can't see them, but do feel free to drop questions on the chat for us and we'll do our best to answer them. But we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about the Spanish book market, about the Spanish Publishers Association, but most importantly, we're going to be talking about the Liber Spanish Book Fair that takes place in October later this year, some new developments that Jose Manuel will tell us about, and a new fellowship that's being developed, which I'm sure everybody is very keen to hear about. But to kick off, Jose Manuel, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your role at the Spanish Publishers Association and also your role with Liber?
Okay, so, well, I have to say that probably some of the members of the community know my first profile in the book sector because I was working during more than 20 years in the distribution side of the business as managing director of FANDE, that was the federation that joined the distribution companies here in Spain, but also because we created the first international association of distributors that again is based here in Madrid. But 1 year ago, I changed my role to the publishing community, to the Spanish Publishers Federation, starting 1 year ago.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah, so I just developing all this activity regarding especially international relations with the different organizations the Federation of Spanish Publishers members. Below the structure of the federation, there are local or regional association of publishers, and below these regional associations, we have around 900 publishing houses based in Spain, and also with different profiles and different activity, big groups, but also the small and medium companies. And one of the main projects developed by the Federation was the Liber Book Fair. That is it's our professional book fair. That is this year we will have our 43 edition. So it's a tradition, this book fair. It's a 100% professional book fair, similar to Frankfurt or London or other kind of fairs of this kind. So it's only open to the professionals in the book sector.
And you also have a consumer one. I know we will come back to Liber, of course, but I think just to let our audience know about the fantastic one that you have in Madrid that was earlier in May.
Yeah, I mean, there is also a consumer book fair, that is the Madrid Book Fair, that is really, really amazing. I mean, it's more than 80 editions. That is a very important fair with more than 1 million people that visit the fair during the 2 weeks that is the duration of this book fair. Is very important in terms of sales of books, and it's also part of this tradition in Madrid that almost every people in Madrid visit the fair once, because it's in a very beautiful place that is in the central garden, the central park that we have in Madrid, El Retiro Park. So this fair with San Jordi, the celebration of the World Book Day in Barcelona or in the Catalonia are the two main events regarding the connections between books and the general
and the readers. Yeah. So not to be confused between the Madrid Book Fair and Liber, which this year also takes place in Madrid, right?
That's right. The Madrid Book Fair is open to the public, and the Liber Book Fair, the professional book fair, is again this year in Madrid because it's alternative Madrid and Barcelona, the two big poles of the publishing industry in Spain. This year is in Madrid and will be on from 7 to 9 October. It's always during the first or week of October or the last week of September. So this year in Madrid, we will start on 7 October until 9 October, 3 days for the professional activity in the book fair.
And that's close to Frankfurt for many people, but I think that can be, you know, difficult for some people, but it also presents some great opportunities, I think, doesn't it? Especially for those that are coming over maybe from the US with an interest in the Spanish language market, or those that are coming all the way from Latin America.
That's okay, Emma. I mean, our motto of fair is the Liber as the bridge between America and Europe. We here in Spain, we are we are lucky in terms that we are a kind of bridge between two continents. We feel European for sure, but also we are historical, cultural, social links with Latin America. So Liber tried to be this kind of bridge. That's the reason why during all these years, Liber becomes a kind of first step for the publishing community from the Latin America that arrives to Europe, spends some days in Madrid or Barcelona, and then go directly to the Frankfurt Book Fair. That's the reason why the dates. There's has pros and cons regarding the first, but for the moment, we maintain this structure as Liber, as a preview to the Frankfurt Book Fair.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So who actually attends Liber? What's kind of like the profile of the exhibitors and the visitors?
Yeah, I have to say that, there is for sure the 100% of the Spanish publishers directly with these stands or as visitants. All the Spanish community regarding distributors, booksellers, literary agents, libraries, journalists specialized on the book sector, etc. And then historically, Liber was the main activity was regarding the sales of Spanish books. I mean, that's the reason why it's very important the presence of buyers of Spanish books around the world. Yeah. For sure, from Latin America, and I mentioned distributors, bookseller chains, libraries again, but all kind of company that is specialized on the access to Spanish books around the world. Well, you have to consider that nowadays Spanish is a trendy language. 600 million people. Well, you are part of this community because you, Emma, you speak very well Spanish. So, in this as mother language, mother tongue is 600 million around the world. But in a lot of countries, it's becoming the second language for students or for the university, etc. So it's a trendy language because music, movies, serials, etc. are becoming part of the popular culture nowadays. Yeah. So it's a lot of people around the world that want to learn Spanish or understand Spanish, speak Spanish. So it's also a very big opportunity for the publishing sector.
Yeah, I think when we were at Read Magin earlier this year, we were hearing about the growth in the Spanish language book market, and I think the numbers were really encouraging.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're also collaborating with different, for instance, for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Spain, because there is a part of the ministry specialized on the spread of the Spanish as language in different countries, not non-Spanish-speaking markets, Spanish-speaking countries, but these countries as India or Australia or for sure United States or China. There are big opportunities for the Spanish publishers and for the Spanish books. And the other side is we want to develop this year in Liber is the foreign trade rights, foreign trade this kind of area specialized for the foreign trades of copyrights. I mean,
Oh, tell us a bit more about that, Jose Manuel. So will it be similar to the Rights Centre in Frankfurt and London? How will
that's right.
that be presented?
That's one of the probably the most important new development in this year, Liber, because Liber was a fair, as I mentioned first, specialized regarding the access to the Spanish books for Spanish buyers.
Yeah.
But we want to create this kind of right center, as you mentioned, as other international fairs. So we decide to uh, open this new experience of this right center, initially for invite 50 publishers on literary agencies from around the world,
Yeah.
in order to have connections with Spanish publishers that attend the fair. So there will be a special area similar to London or Frankfurt,
Yeah.
only regarding the right centers.
Okay, great.
With a specific tool for manage the agenda, for manage the meeting, for select the slots. So we'll be inside the fair, but within a specific area only for the right center.
And you'll have like you said, like a matchmaking tool where people can, or should we say appointment setting tool where people can go in and see who's attending. And so people, will you have pricing available soon for those tables and details of how to book?
Yeah, we will share all the information regarding the tables and regarding the options to fellowship for this right center. So more than happy to share with all the publishers with our border community. But the idea is any kind of publishers or right agency that want to apply and want to participate,
yeah,
is more than welcome here in Madrid for the first week of October. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned the magic word, fellowship.
Yeah, so we have several fellowships. I mean, we have indeed this year 3 kind of fellowships. One is the traditional and is the biggest fellowship that we have in Liber, that is the fellowship for Spanish book buyers around the world, that is specialized regarding booksellers from around the world that have Spanish funds in his portfolio, or distributors, etc. So we had 250 fellowship kits in that sense, that include 3 or 4 nights of hotel, and also an amount of money for I think it's around 1,000 euros in the case of companies outside Europe for the flight tickets.
Okay.
And
okay.
Yeah. But this is the traditional, and it's for specific for the Hispanic book buyers around the world.
So you mean buyers of Spanish language rights rather than book buyers?
Not rights, but books. In that case, is for the physical product. I mean, it's for bookshop on
like librarians, bookshops, librarians, etc.
That's right. So it's a traditional, and we have this program for several years. A second one is regarding special companies that are access to the Spanish books, that is mainly U.S. universities, and we invite around 30 U.S. universities, the biggest players at Yale or Stanford or Harvard, and they're responsible of access to Spanish books also. So it's very useful, this program. And the third one, that is the new one, is this fellowship program for the Right Center that I told you. So we are thinking about 50 fellowships kits for this program.
Wow.
Thinking about but this is mainly for non-Spanish speaking publishers. I mean, for publishers from around the world that want to participate in the fair. So I will share with you the information, but mainly I have to say that are publishers that are recommended by Spanish publishers, because traditionally they have some links. In any case, I will share, if we have some places available, I will share with all the Publishers Without Border community the conditions and the way to apply. But for sure, if a part of the fellowship, if they want to come to Madrid and have the access to some table and some opportunities to participate in this new brand rights center, they will have also the information.
Great. And so even if you're not part of the fellowship, can you still either, would you have to pay for a table, or are you offering those tables anyway? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so we have, for instance, I'm thinking now, this is a brainstorming, okay?
It was all discovered here.
But why not create a kind for, in case that there is no fellowship, it's some member that arrives from the Publishers Without Border community, maybe we can give a free table for these companies in order to interact with the Spanish publishers or other international publishers that are arriving with a fellowship. Could be an option. So if we check that there is some interest or important interest for the Publishers Without Borders, maybe we can offer free tables in this rights center.
Because I think there may be people that would like to come who are sellers that aren't buyers, but maybe that want to sell to the Spanish language publishers that will be there.
Yeah, for sure. It's not closed only for the sellers, for the buyer, but also for the sellers. So in this tool, you have to select if you want to sell or buy or both. So, but it's not, and they have the opportunity to interact with Spanish publishers for sure, but also with the other international publishers that will be based there. I give an example. For instance, this year our guest of honor is Chile, and will be a very important presence of Chilean publishers, and mainly other. You have to consider that these 250 fellowship program of buyers of books, in the main case, the Latin American are mixed of distributors and publishers. So we will be also publishers from other Latin American countries that will be in Liber Book Fair.
Yeah, that's true. And because Chile is going to be guest of honor, isn't it, in Frankfurt in 2027, I believe. I think it is.
Yeah, it's 2027. Yeah, this is in talking about our Chile and France. This is a first experience regarding thinking about Frankfurt in 2027.
Yeah. So it's a good chance to have a preview and start building those relationships with the Chilean publishers.
Yeah, it's an amazing country. It's very active nowadays in the publishing world. You know very well, Emma.
Yeah, I was there recently. Yeah,
some months ago, and it's a very important community with that is growing. There is a new fairs, new beautiful fairs for the book sector in Chile. There are also very active new publishers, small and medium-sized companies, but this is very proactive and very active, the scenario of the publishers in Chile nowadays. So it's the idea also to create this community between small and medium publishers from all Latin America, and also try to link with similar companies that comes from Europe or from other international countries. Yeah.
Absolutely. And will there be any other activities around Liber that we should be aware of? Like, do you do any guest of honor parties? You know, PWB likes a party.
Yeah, we will have. Indeed. I mentioned that the official days are 7 to 9, but in the afternoon of 6 October, they will maintain what we call it Fiesta Liber. That is an option to the people that have stands in the fair, open the stand to his friends, to his customer, in order to have some beers, some wines, and this is the first options to have this meeting.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that will be in the preview of the official inauguration.
Yeah,
and then on 8 October. On Wednesday, 8 October, we organize that. We call it the Gala Liber. That is in the city center, in Madrid city center, in a beautiful place, and it's also with the worldly and special events of our Chilean friends, with music, with
Yeah.
the participation of the embassy, etc. And we give the Liber prizes that
Okay.
are for the for the best media on support the publishing sector, or for the best bookseller of the year. We have this gala that is also a tradition of Liber, and also the we call it the Legend Prize, that is for a very important person in the Spanish book industry that has developed his career, and we give also this prize. I have to say you as that this year will be very special because our Legend Prize will be for the Valencian Association of Publishers,
Okay.
considering what's happened with the,
Yeah.
the really hard moment that we live in all Spain with this, this incredible situation last October,
Yeah.
with more than 200 people that died in Valencia because of flood. And,
Yeah.
and this is a special prize for our friends and our colleagues from the sector of the publishing in the Valencia community. So
That's a nice recognition of them.
yeah.
Very nice recognition of them. I know that was a very tough time for the city. I'm just going to recap because this has come on to the questions about how the fellows are selected for the fellowship program, what criteria are most valued. And I think just to recap that nominations will come from Spanish publishers of editors that they've worked with before that have acquired rights from Spanish publishers to publish in their own languages. That's generally where the recommendations will come from.
Yeah, in that sense, I will give you information regarding the options. If there are some free fellows kept in that sense, but I recommend, maybe not for this fair, but for the future fair, maintain the content for some Spanish publishers that
Absolutely.
they can recommend. I
Yeah.
will say to you, but in any case, this is the first experience that we will have regarding this right center.
Yeah. So
If things go as we
as you plan.
suppose,
Yeah.
the idea is to make grow every year this program, and this year we have 50 invitations. Next year, why not arrive to I don't know, 80 or 90?
Maybe more. Yeah. Yeah.
We will have the support of the Ministry of Culture of Spain, but also several institutions. So the idea is to try to make grow this and become also not only for the Spanish publishers, but also for Latin American publishers, for Spanish-speaking publishers, a kind of big matchmaking area in order to connect with international publishers from around the world, but especially also from Europe.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. I had a question and I've forgotten what it was now. Dates. So when will fellows be informed if they've been successful?
Yeah, we are now closing some of the invitations that comes from I have to say that we send 120 invitations from around the world, but the recommendation of the publishers, thinking that around 50% they will say, okay, no, I'm not interested. So we are thinking about this to is 50 or to 60. We have less than 50. We open to any kind of company. So it's the moment that I will share you if somebody from Publishers Without Borders want to apply to the options this year. I mentioned this year. If we don't arrive in the first round, if we don't arrive to these 50 or 60, we can spend.
We'll open it up. Fantastic, thank you.
So that's and for sure, if somebody want to come as professional, or somebody want to create a small stand or a small booth, we have for the moment a space free. So I can share also with you all the conditions. This is another new for this year. Every company that has a stand in Liber has the option to that we call it the Agora. That is a kind of a speaker corner in the pure center of the fair for present with a slots of 20 minutes, any kind of new service, new project, new collection, new catalog that want to make or even to present the company to all the visitants and all the professionals present in the fair. And for sure will be these slots inside the official program of the fair. So we are offering these slots, this Agora area, for all the companies that had stands in Liber, Spanish or international.
Or international. That's great. And one question's just come in as to whether Liber's ever considered having a translators center for translators that are working with Spanish authors and Spanish literature.
This is, I mean, it's a very good point. It's a very good question. We want to start with this RISE Center, but for sure, if we go ahead with this, will not for this year, for this edition of Liber, but we are in a very good link and a very good relation with the Spanish Translation Association. There is an association here in Spain. So there will for sure will be some presentations of the translation association, and why not try to create some new spin-offs of the program for the future. Next edition in 2026 will be in Barcelona, and I take notice about this option. Why not to create something small at the beginning, but thinking also within a specific area for the translators will be great. I think that makes sense considering that I mentioned first about the Spanish as a global language nowadays.
Exactly. And what is the location of the fair? I'm busy Googling flights and hotels here, Jose Manuel. And so if we're looking to book hotels, what's the location of the book fair?
So the book fair is in the area of the old infrastructure regarding the Madrid fairs. That is, the name is IFEMA. IFEMA is just a moment, sorry.
That's okay. If anybody has any other questions, do please post them. There's some
the sound of the
questions
phone
coming in. No problem.
Now, as I told you, it's in the IFEMA, that is the area of the fairs in Madrid. It's very near. It's not in the pure center, but it's around 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the city center by bus, or especially by metro. That is the best way to do. It's very near to the airport. So that's the reason why this is these connections with the airport. Okay. But if you prefer to stay, because it's similar to how can I say, Bologna, for instance, that is not in the pure center, the fair. If you want to stay in the city center, it's not more than 20-25 minutes by metro to the IFEMA area.
Okay, great. And another question's popped up about, I think this is particularly for this fellowship, is what genres are you focusing on? So where you've been speaking to Spanish publishers about recommendations of foreign buyers, are you considering children's publishers, non-fiction publishers? What genres would you be focusing on?
All genres. I mean, for this moment, I have to say that nowadays, Spain, and talking about the market, Spain is growing very fast regarding, well, it's general growing during the last 12 years, but especially on children books. This was amazing, the growing. So also young adults continue to be and also in the non-fiction, we have a very important performance. So in that sense, we don't have limitation regarding this question of genres for this. As I told you, it's a first experience, and why not? After the first experience, maybe we can think about create something specific about some genre in concrete, but this year will be open. In this tool that I mentioned, this matchmaking tool, you can to select and give some information about your company, including the kind of genre that is the main genre of your publishing house.
Yeah. So just to recap, 120 people have already been invited.
That's right.
For the first round. So those of you that maybe have been lucky to have been invited already, check your inboxes. And if you don't reach the number of, say, 50 of people that have accepted, then we'll look to open it up to others.
That's right. And the first option, if we have free places, free invitations after this round, will be our Friends of Publishers Without Borders.
That's so kind. That's so kind. So question here, can Liber support international visibility for lesser known markets? Yeah, I think that, I don't know if that's for people that are buying or selling. I don't know if you can give us some clarity there, Elnara, around, do you mean having stands to showcase literature from those countries, or buyers from those countries that might be interested in buying Spanish language or buying books in their language from Spanish? Maybe give us a bit of clarity and we can come back to that. Very happy to dig into that a little bit further.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's our idea is to become every year Liber as a more international fair. Frankly speaking, until the moment, Liber was concentrated more in this link, very important for us. That is the link with Latin America, for sure.
Yeah.
We know that makes sense trying to engage more international markets, not only because the Spanish is around the world, but also we think that makes sense to connect publishers, and because creativity and good performance on the book sector and the publishing sector is around the world. So becoming a more international first. Liber is not so big as Frankfurt, for sure. It's a small fair in that sense. But we want to be, let me give you, we want to become a kind of boutique fair in the sense that with more selected people, with people interested in specific markets. And also if you want to have connections with the Spanish-speaking markets, for a publisher in India, for a publisher in Emirates, or for a publisher in Japan, Liber must be your place to connect with the Spanish-speaking publishing sector. That's the main objective for the fair. So well, let's try. We are in the beginning of this new. It's
a new era. It's a new era. It's exciting. It's exciting. Okay, so here we've got, just to build on that. So the fellowships for non-Spanish speaking publishers. Yes, we've talked about that already. So just to be clear, that the fellowship is for international buyers of literature from Spain to publish in your country. So if you are buying, for example, if you're coming from, let's say, French-speaking Canada, and you're interested in buying the rights to publish in French for the Canadian market, then that's okay. Or if you're coming from, I've lost track of countries, Germany even, and you're a German publisher and looking to acquire works from Spanish to publish in German. So that's what the fellowship is for, just to be clear, for one of the chats that's come up. And then here we go, general cultural cooperation opportunities. So panels, joint presentations, roundtables between Spanish language and those from lesser known markets.
Yeah.
Nice idea.
No, with the second question, because I missed that, of course, as a professional book fair, we have an important professional events and professionals presentations, keynotes, roundtables, etc. Again, a new development for this year is try to create some different lines, different blocks regarding presentations, regarding professional keynotes and roundtables, and we will have 5 blocks. One is Liber Innovation, that will be 100% centering digital, artificial intelligence, with a lot of presentations on that field. The second is Liber Sustainability, that will be concentrated on all the questions linked with the sustainability, the new legislation regarding deforestation that is very important for us here in Europe, for instance, will be part of the agenda. The third is Liber skilling, that will be concentrated on the necessity of skilling, upskilling, reskilling for the professional of the book sector, and is linked and managed by the Paris school that Emma know very well, and is in a Spanish new brand schools for the book sector. So we'll be on a specific panels regarding this question of trainee skilling, reskilling, etc. And the fourth one is regarding Liber commercialization, that is linked with all the questions with marketing of books, discoverability, print on demand, etc. I'm sorry, and the five is Liber International, that is open for international associations or international companies that want to participate in the professionals agenda, not mixed with the agora that I told you first. The agora, this is this kind of a speaker corner in the exposition area. These professionals will be on the specific rooms, and this Liber International will be, for instance, the Chilean delegation has a same program, or Korea, that will be the next guest of honor, will have his own program, or why not? The Colombians are reserved, the Czech Republic has reserved for some. We will have 4 or 5 rooms at the same time with different panels and different keynotes.
Sounds very, very exciting, and sounds like there's lots of opportunities there, and also that you're open to suggestions as well, I'd say.
Well, my intention is show us some of the small changes. It's not a revolution, but we are trying to include new attractive tools and attractive ideas for try to make grow, always maintaining his kind of boutique spirit of the fair, because it's not very big. Yeah. But it's I always say that Madrid or Barcelona are also very beautiful cities in order to a part of the fair, to create networking, to have lunch, to have dinners, etc. In a very similar spirit that we have in Reimagine, that I know very well. So the idea is try to connect this spirit for the fair, that is a tradition. They have 43 editions, as I mentioned first. So we don't want to change
everything all at the same time.
Destroy the spirit of that's not indeed the engine of Liber. Continue to be this link with the Latin American friends and colleagues that come from in order to buy Spanish books and to interact with the Spanish publishers, but makes sense to try to create new ways and attract new companies. For instance, we have another specific area that we call it micro Liber, because it's open for startups of small companies or micro companies, not only for the digital industry. For instance, a small publisher that want to have a very small space, very small area with only they only need a table with 2 chairs and some area for exposition of the books, that could be applied for the micro Liber, that is with a more reduced price that if you have a big stand, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything else that you haven't mentioned that you'd like to mention, Jose Manuel. I think we've got a lot of information there. I've certainly learned a lot more about Liber than I knew before. So thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk about it. But if there's anything you think that we've forgotten to talk about, please do mention it.
Sorry about?
If there's anything that we haven't spoken about that you would like to mention as well, please do so.
I mean, you have all the information. We have in the Liber website, you have all the information in English and Spanish for sure. But anyway, through all the social media of Publishers Without Border, I will send you also details of the next steps and the options that we have. Feel free to contact with me at the same time if you need some further information in any case. And more than Thank you, Emma. Thank you, all the Publishers Without Border community. It's always great to have the opportunity to connect with this amazing group of friends and amazing group of professionals.
Yeah.
I have to say that we are a part of Liber. We are trying also to create, regarding this right center or right market, in the different international fairs, always try to create some kind of matchmaking in the Spanish stand, in the Spanish booth, with some international associations. For instance, and from this morning, we will try to work with our Quebec friends for the next Frankfurt Book Fair in order to create a matchmaking between Spanish publishers and Quebecois publishers in Frankfurt. And why not with other countries that will be interesting, a part of the Liber Book Fair in international fairs, create this kind of bilateral matchmakings that I think that make real sense. That's also a part of the news and from the new developments for the next season. Yeah.
Yeah, and I should say that Jose Manuel's a very active member of Publishers Without Borders. So thank you for that, Jose Manuel. And I know that we've got the Liber channel opened up on WhatsApp. So we'll share a link to this interview on that WhatsApp group as well. And if anyone has any other questions for Jose Manuel, please put them in the Liber WhatsApp chat for Publishers Without Borders. And I know he will reply to you. So that's probably the best route for now. And also keep an eye on the channel so that we can put more announcements on there, especially if any spaces come available on the fellowship program, which he's kindly said will go to PWB members. So we will announce that on the Liber channel. So do join if you haven't joined already, but keep an eye on that channel as well. So I was not sure whether to attend Liber before Jose Manuel, but as I said, I'm Googling my flights and hotel already. It sounds really exciting, and it's been a long time since I was at Liber. So I'm very excited to come along and see the change and join the buzz around the excitement of what's going on in the Spanish book market at the moment.
Thank you very much. Really great to see you in Madrid. All the Publishers Without Borders community is more than welcome here to Spain, in Madrid this year, next year in Barcelona. So espero veros a todos en Madrid. Os mando un abrazo grande.
Sí, claro que sí. Bueno, muchas gracias, Jose Manuel. Hasta pronto.
Thank you very much. Keep in touch.
You.
Bye-bye.